When you change your thoughts, remember to also change your world.
With these wonderful lines, I, Sanji,
And I, Samrit,
heartily welcome respected MD Sir, Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, Rachna Ma'am, respected teachers, parents, and my dear friends in Nosegay Auditorium for our annual function.
every day is a new day, full of opportunities. Today, we the students of class 9Q have got the golden opportunity to present our annual presentation on the topic French Revolution.
Ganesh Vandana means praising or surrender to the Lord Ganesha. Let us start this beautiful day by taking the name of the Lord Ganesha and request him to make our annual presentation a great success. Now I call Pradhuman and one of our class for the Ganesh Vandana. And out of that will come a great work. So to inspire us and illuminate our morning assembly, I would like to call Sahiba and Samrit for thought of the day.
I'm going to express the thought in French. Parlez véritable changement social, n'a jamais été provoque sans révolution. La révolution n'est que la pensée, mission, action.
Now I am going to express the thought in English. No real social change has ever been brought about without a revolution. Revolution is but thought carried into action. I repeat my thought. No real social change has ever been brought about without a revolution. Revolution is but thought carried into action.
It was a period of radical political and social changes in France. It comprised a series of events started by middle class that shook the upper classes. The common people revolted against the cruel regime of monarchy. This revolution put forward the ideas of liberty, fraternity and equality, not only for France but for the whole world. Many of its ideas are considered principles of liberal democracy even today. Now let's welcome the students of class 9Q on stage to present skit on French Revolution.
place at Versailles in year 1786. When Louis XVI he was married to Austrian Princess Marie Antoinette, held a meeting with his ministers to discuss about the economic crisis that France was facing. At that time, France was divided into 3 estates. The first estate consisted of clergy, the second estate consisted of nobility, and the third estate consisted of big businessmen, merchants, peasants, artisans, etc.
My king, the royal finances are in terrible shape as we had 13 American colonies to gain their independence from our common enemy, Britain. Long years of war drained our financial resources of France.
Yes, my king, he is absolutely right. Apart from long years of war, we have also spent on maintenance of Palace Versailles. Lenders who gave the state credit now have begun to charge 10% interest on loans. Therefore, must put tax on royal treasury. Your Highness, it is the only way to put budget in order.
It is not possible. The royal members will not pay any tax as it is their divine right. No one can question king and the royal members. Let's call a meeting of State General in which we will decide about new tax system.
Scene 2. Louis XVI disagreed with his minister's advice, so he decided to increase the taxes to meet royal expenses. The meeting of Estate Generals was held on 5th May 1789. The meeting of Estate Generals had not been conducted since year 1614.
Estates General was a political body to which 3 estates sent their representatives.
They are sitting on chairs facing each other while the members of third estate had to stand at back.
As you know, my fellow countrymen, France is facing financial crisis, so we are planning to introduce some more taxes.
Mercy, my lord, mercy. We are already overburdened with taxes and we are not in condition to pay more taxes.
What are you talking about? Always member of third state pay taxes. It is your duty. Let's decide about new taxes through voting system.
But my lord, my king, in the current voting system, each state just has 1 vote. Out of these 3 votes, 2 are already in your favor. Voting should be now done by assembly as a whole, where each member would have 1 vote.
Absolutely not. This proposal is not accepted at all.
When the king rejected this proposal, members of third estate walked out of assembly in protest.
Scene 3. The representatives of the third estate viewed themselves as spokesmen for whole French nation. On 20 June, they assembled in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the ground of Versailles. They declared themselves as National Assembly and swore not to disperse till they had a constitution for France.
While the National Assembly completed the draft of the Constitution in 1791, its main object was to reduce monarchy's powers. King's powers now decentralized to different institutions: legislative, executive, and judiciary.
News for you.
Yes, dear, please tell us what's the news.
The king has commanded troops to move into city and soon he would order the army to open fire upon the citizens.
Yes, he is right. See, soldiers are marching toward us.
Yes, we need to do something to protect ourselves. I think we need to form a people's army and fight against the king.
Let us attack the Bastille.
Let's 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 attack the Bastille.
As people attacked the Bastille, the commander of Bastille was killed. People of France destroyed Bastille.
Scene 4. The National Assembly completed the draft of the Constitution in 1791. Its main object was to reduce monarchy's powers. King's powers now decentralized to different institutions: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Thus, France became a constitutional monarchy.
But the new constitution has reduced the rights of voting to only men who were above 25 years of age and belonged to middle and upper classes who own a property. The constitution began with the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizens.
Rights such as right to life, freedom of speech, equality before law, freedom of opinion were established as fundamental rights.
Citizens, I have an important news for you. Our king has entered secret negotiation with the king of Prussia and they are plotting against revolution.
It is a very dangerous time. What is our National Assembly doing?
I think it is time to make some amendments in the constitution formed by National Assembly so that every man present who is 21 years and above will get the right to vote.
On April 20, 1792, France declared war on Austria. The wars lasted for 7 years between France and other European powers.
Writes, the wars brought great economic crisis for the people of France. A large number of population was convinced that revolution has to be carried further, as Constitution of 1791 gave political rights only to the richer sections of the society.
In response to this, many political clubs came into existence. One of the prominent clubs was the Jacobin Club, which included less prosperous sections of the society. Their leader was Maximilien Robespierre.
On morning of 10th August 1792, Jacobins stormed the palace, massacred the king's guard and held the king as a hostage for several hours. This was how National Assembly was abolished and National Convention was formed. On 20th September 1792, monarchy was abolished and France declared as a republic.
Scene 5. The period from 1793 to 1794 is referred to as the Reign of Terror. Robespierre followed a policy of severe control and punishment. All those whom he saw as being of the republic were arrested, imprisoned and were guillotined. By 1799, the French people were longing for a strong leader who would put an end to their suffering. A victorious general named Napoleon Bonaparte seized the power and became the first consul of the Republic. In 1804, he became the Emperor of France.
My people, let me introduce myself. I am Napoleon, the new Emperor of France. My people, let us pause a moment to consider the great benefits that our victories afford to Europe. We have abolished federal privileges and eliminated serfdom. We have created a system of more equal taxation. We have granted freedom of religion. I am honored that there are some people who refer to these laws as the Napoleonic Code. But my loyal friends, our enemies, are still trying to undo the great achievements of this revolution. Our one-time friend Russia has now declared war against us. But with your support, I shall lead our armies into Russia and on to the victory. Long live the French Empire! Long live the French Empire!
Napoleon declared himself the King of France in 1804. He was an excellent general who conquered and dominated all the neighboring countries except Britain and Russia with the help of his army. He was remembered for his restoration of order and law to France after 10 years of the French Revolution.
Napoleon's fall began when he decided to push further and invade Russia. The invasion did not went well and he lost most of his army, leaving him vulnerable to the rest of the Europe. This led to Napoleon's exile on the island of Elba in 1840.
A group discussion is a technique for exchanging ideas and viewpoints. The main goal of group discussion is to provide each participant with an equal opportunity to express their views and thoughts on a particular topic. So, considering the importance of group discussion in the life of a student, I would like to invite some students of my class for group discussion on the topic French Revolution. Can you please explain the causes that led to the French Revolution and how did it start?
French Revolution started in 1789 and reformed the existing political institution. It ended the French monarchy and cemented the responsible government. The Siege of Bastille on 14 July 1789 led to French Revolution. It ended with rise of Napoleon. The major causes for French Revolution include social causes, political causes, economic causes and intellectual causes.
Rupali, can you please explain the social causes responsible for French Revolution?
The social conditions in the France in the late 18th century were extremely unequal and exploitative. The clergy and the nobility formed the first two states and were the most privileged classes of the French society. They were exempt from the payment of taxes to the state. On the other hand, the third state consisted of peasants and workers, formed the majority of the population. They were burdened with excessive taxes with no social and political rights. As a result, they were extremely discontent.
Ridham, can you please explain the economic causes responsible for French Revolution?
As a result of numerous wars, the state coffers were empty. The situation was made even more complex by the France's involvement in American War of Independence and faulty system of taxation. The privileged classes were excused from paying taxes while the third estate was more and more burdened with them.
Rajneesh, can you please explain the political causes responsible for French Revolution?
The Bourbon King of France, Louis XVI, was an autocratic and wicked king who led a life of absolute luxury. This led to lot of dissatisfaction among the masses, who then were leading a life of extreme poverty and widespread hunger.
Rudra, can you please explain the intellectual causes responsible for French Revolution?
The 18th century was marked by the conscious refusal by French thinkers of the divine rights theory. Philosophers like Jean-Jacques Rousseau rejected the idea of absolute monarchy and publicized the doctrine of equality of man and sovereignty of people. He played a vital role in exposing the fault lines in all political system. One of famous quotes of Rousseau that ignited spark in mass is that man is born free, but everywhere he is in chains.
Liesl, can you please explain the role of middle class in the French Revolution?
The French Revolution was in the major part due to the rise of the another social stratum, the middle class. The 18th century saw the rise of the educated men who had the means to bring about the large-scale changes and get their voices heard. They actively worked on the spreading freedom philosophy and ideas against oppression.
Saksham, can you please name some prominent personalities of middle class?
Some prominent personalities of the middle class were Charles Montesquieu, Jean-Jacques Rousseau and John Locke. One of the famous quotes of Charles Montesquieu is that an empire founded by war has to maintain itself by war, and to become truly great one has to stand with people not above them.
Pranav, can you please explain about various clubs formed by women during the French Revolution?
To discuss their voice and interest, women started to form their own political clubs and newspapers. About 60 women clubs came up in different French cities. The Society of Revolutionary and the Republican Women were the two most famous of them.
Sahiba, can you please explain how did women in France won the right to vote?
One of the main demands of women during French Revolution was that they should enjoy the same political rights as the men. Women were disappointed because Constitution of 1791 considered them as passive citizens who did not have the right to vote. Women struggled for equal political rights during the Reign of Terror. Women's movement for voting rights and equal wages continued through the next 200 years in many countries of the world. It was finally in 1946 that women in France won the right to vote.
Samar, can you please explain how did slavery trade start in France?
In order to overcome the shortage of labor on plantation, a triangular slave trade between Europe, Africa and America began in 17th century.
Rehan, can you please explain how did France abolish slavery?
Throughout the 18th century, there is a little criticism of slavery in France. The National Assembly held long debates about whether the rights of man should be extended to all, but it does not pass any of the laws, fearing opposition from businessmen whose incomes are dependent on slave trade. Finally, it was the convention which in 1794 legislated to free all the slaves in the French overseas possessions. This, however, did not last for the long. After a decade, Napoleon reintroduced slavery in 1804, which was finally abolished by the French colonies in 1848.
Rishabh, can you please explain how did French Revolution affect the everyday life of people of France?
The everyday life of the French people was affected strongly by the revolution. With the abolition of censorship and declaration of rights of man and citizens, freedom of speech became a natural right for the people of France. At the same time, freedom of press was also granted in France. Newspaper, books, pamphlets and printed photographs were abundant in the cities of France, from where they quickly spread to the countryside.
Rachit, can you please explain the importance of French Revolution in the world history?
The French Revolution had put an end to arbitrary rule and promoted the ideas of democracy. It inspired the people throughout the world with the ideas of freedom and liberty. The French Revolution preached the concept of equal rights. It gave the term nation and promoted the concept of nationalism. It also gave an idea about human fraternity.
Saji, can you please explain the rise of Napoleon?
Napoleon was an important figure in the history of the world. He was a great French general who had won many battles throughout the world for the revolutionary France. The political instability in the Directory ruled paved the way for his rise in France. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself as the Emperor of the France. He framed many new laws such as protection of private property and a uniform system of measures and weight.
Raman, can you please conclude this topic?
French Revolution not only brought a new age to France, but also influenced other nations. The idea of nationalism resonated among other nations, giving the way people to revolt against unjust rule. The revolution also introduced the concept of democracy to other nations. The idea of building Statue of Liberty was given by a French artist, which ignited spark of liberty in all European and non-European countries.
Thank you.
Kathak is one of the beautiful dance forms in Indian classical dances. So some of my friends are going to present a beautiful classical dance performance.
Laisse-moi entrer dans ta matrice, goûter à tes délices. Personne ne peut m'en dissuader. Allez, 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 je ferai tout pour t'accompagner. Tellement je suis borné, je suis bien dans ma bulle. Allez, 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 tout est beau, tout est rose. Tant que je l'impose, dis-moi qui est le plus beau. Allez, allez, allez.
So now I would like to call Parikshita and Pranjal for English song.
Rise India, rise, roll out the battle cry. No matter what the situation, fight side by side. Rise India, rise, this is the time to shine. Though it feels like hope is gone, we'll never quit the strife. Rise India, rise, roll out the battle cry. No matter what the situation, fight side by side. Rise India, rise, this is the time to shine. Though it feels like hope is it seems like you are losing ground. Even in your darkest hour, hold on to your power. Turn things around for good. Rise, India, rise. Roar out the battle cry. No matter what the situation, fight side by side. Rise, India, rise. This is the light to shine. Though it feels like hope is gone, we'll never quit the strive.
Poetry is a one of ancient arts, and it begins as with all the fine arts. Within the original whiteness of the earth, so Riddhi and Sanjay को class are going to present a Hindi poem.
ना जाने किस मिट्टी के बने थे, देश की सेवा में हर दिन खड़े थे। जवानियां उन्होंने जेलों में गुजार दी, देश के खातिर अपनी जान वार दी। हमारे भारत के कुछ स्वतंत्रता सेनानी ऐसे थे जिन्हें भारतीय इतिहास में जगह ना मिल पाई, तो उन्हीं को समर्पित है हमारी आज की हिंदी कविता। गुमनाम हूँ, नाकाम हूँ, जिंदगी के ढलते सूरज की एक अंधेरी शाम हूँ। सूरज सा चमका था यहीं, फूलों सा महका था यहीं, अपने ही लोगों के बीच आज मगर मैं आम हूँ। गुमनाम हूँ, नाकाम हूँ, सूरज के ढलते सूरज की एक अंधेरी शाम हूँ। साथ ना कोई था मेरे, तन्हा ही था मैं चल पड़ा, अपनों की ही सेवा के खातिर खड़ा काफिला कर सका। रुकने तुम इनको ना देना, इनके ही खातिर जीना मरना, देखो तुम में रहने वाला एक मैं एहसास हूँ। गुमनाम हूँ, नाकाम हूँ, जिंदगी के ढलते सूरज की एक अंधेरी शाम हूँ। मैं रहूँ या ना रहूँ, पर तुम्हें अब नहीं है रुकना। अन्याय अत्याचारों के आगे देखो तुम कभी ना झुकना। रहेगी जो तुम में सदा, उस क्रांति का मैं नाम हूँ। गुमनाम हूँ, नाकाम हूँ, जिंदगी के ढलते सूरज की एक अंधेरी शाम हूँ। जय हिंद।
Speaks to the heart in ways words cannot express. So now it's time for an instrumental performance.
The knowledge. It is as immortal as the heart of man. Now Rishika and Riva will recite the English poem.
Will starve and die of disease. No answer, no solution, call for revolution. No answer, no solution, call for revolution.
When poverty is on your doorstep and you don't know what to do.
No answer, no solution, call for revolution. No answer, no solution, call for revolution. When bombs are dropped on the innocent. No answer, no solution, call for revolution. No answer, no solution, call for revolution.
When your government make decision you hate.
No answer, no solution, call for revolution. No answer, no solution, call for revolution. When survival of the fittest favors the pitiless. No answer, no solution.
revolution is a definition in your textbook, but love is just a word without meaning.
When you sleep, you dream of being free, but God doesn't hear your plea.
No answer, no solution, call for revolution. No answer, no solution, call for revolution.
Thank you, the universe, which never died. So now I would like to call Rishika and Santi for the melodious Hindi song.
तेरे वतन के लोगों जरा आँख में भर लो पानी शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी है मेरे वतन के लोगों जरा आँख में भर लो पानी जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो तुम भूल न जाओ उनको इसलिए सुनो ये कहानी जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी जब घायल हुआ हिमालय खतरे में पड़ी आजादी जब तक थी सांस लड़े वो जब तक थी सांस लड़े वो मैंने अपनी लाश बिछा दी संगीन पे धर कर माथा सो गए अमर बलिदानी जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी जरा याद करो कुर्बानी
Dance is a performing art form consisting of purposefully selected sequence of human movement. This movement has aesthetic and symbolic value. Now students of a class are going to perform a group dance.